Welcome to the stage, Angus Dunican!
Right, yes, let's kick the dick off it and make some memories. Hello, my name is Angus Dunican, Robot Wars semi-finalist, 1998. So as you can well imagine, the last 15 years of my life has just been a blur of drugs and women. It's lovely to be in Scotland. I think one of the not often commented upon facets of the Scottish is their talent for casual surrealism. I'll give you an example. I was walking through the grass market a few years ago, and I walked up to this bloke, 'cause I was looking for a bakery, because I'm just that rock and roll. And I went up to this bloke and said, "Excuse me, do you know if there's a bakery anywhere around here?" And he goes, "Hey, there's one down that way. But I warn you, it doesn't sell any bread." Which I thought was brilliant. I'm obviously not from around here. I'm from the southeast coast of England, which is about as far away as you can get from here without drowning. I'm from a town called Eastbourne. Don't know if anyone's ever been to Eastbourne. Brighton's dowdy, buck-toothed little sister. I went home recently, actually. I went out clubbing like an idiot. I went back to the old club that I used to go hang out at, and it was called King's. And the thing about King's, it's changed now. It's a bit gentrified. But when I was banging, it was a bit more sketchy. And if you went to King's, you'd either definitely get lucky, or you definitely end up in A&E. That was it. It was a split thing. If King's was a person, it would be a drunk, naked woman with a baseball bat, tossing a coin. But I went home to go see my parents. My parents fascinate me because I think either they've run out of things to argue about and now they're just grasping at straws to kind of spice up their argument life, or they're just staying together out of spite. I'm not really sure which it is. I'll give you an example. I went straight home and I went right up to my old room, and it's lovely to be back in your old room because you go, this is the room I learned to wank in. Remember the night you found out? 12 times in one night. I nearly died of dehydration. So I was upstairs in my room having a bit of a reminisce. And nice to see the Edinburgh Subtext Spotter Society out in force. I was upstairs in my room and I heard my parents start up arguing downstairs. And I think it's lovely when you hear your parents arguing through the floor because it's muffled. And to me that always sounds like Pingu's parents. No, because all you can hear is... So I go to the banisters, I creep to the banisters. Immediately I'm 8 years old again, worrying. I'm going, are they going to get divorced? They never will. Because sometimes I see this look in my mother's eyes that seems to say, it took 25 years to pay for this house. We'll see who blinks first, motherfucker. And I can hear my dad kicking off. He's going, it's a waste! It's a waste of money! It's a waste of things. So I just immediately assume they're talking about me. So I decide to intercede. And I get between them. My father, hot, red, angry, like a kettle in loafers. My mother, with mascara streaming down her face. She is a wreck, but in her left hand, an Indian takeaway menu. I say, guys, what's going on? She goes, your father won't let me order more than one naan bread! Which just... The cabin fever of that. It's like Coronation Street written by Samuel Beckett. I'd actually forgotten how to get home. I hadn't been home for so long. I had to call National Rail Inquiries. And I don't know if any of you guys have called National Rail Inquiries recently, because it is very depressing, because you're talking to the machines. You're talking to Skynet. And first of all, you get the woman who goes, hello, welcome to National Rail Inquiries. Which is very much the kind of voice you'd expect to hear in the lobby as you enter Dignitas, I think. You get her. And then she says, let me transfer you now to my colleague in Train Tracker. Oh, colleague! But imagine the Christmas party. But I get... just tape recorders with drinks. And I get her colleague, and it's beautiful. It's this sort of wonderfully brash male cyber Clarkson. I can see him in my mind's eye as he comes swaggering out of the telephonic darkness. This is how he goes. He goes, hi, welcome to Train Tracker. As if to say, right, well, we've got rid of the skirt, now let's talk trains. But of course, nobody has to call National Rail Inquiries anymore because everybody's got iPhones. And I kind of don't like iPhones because I feel like they fuck up the dynamic in pubs for a kickoff. You can't have an argument about anything anymore. But also, like, I think they do something to I think there's such a thing as iPhone chin. You've probably seen it, like, on the train or whatever, just like this. I just think it's massively unsightly. I think take the iPhone out of that equation. You look like somebody who's had a stroke, just sat in the day room conducting along to Classic FM. Time for your mushy peas, Albert. Fuck off! I'm conducting Tchaikovsky. I'm pleased you laughed at that because I did that joke in front of a really weird audience. It was a bit of a split audience. My front row were all young professionals with their clever haircuts. But they were okay. I actually asked them what they did, and they go, oh, yeah, we work in events. Now, I know that's a job. There's probably lots of people here who work in events, but I think to my parents' generation, that's a strange thing, because it's such an amorphous job title. It's like saying, what do you do? Oh, I work in occurrences. I mean, I dabble in phenomena, but, you know. But they were fine. They were kids. I mean, that's all right. But the rest of the audience were bankers, every man jack of them. And I asked them casually, I was doing that bit, I said, does anyone here have an iPhone? And then there's just this collective fart of privilege came out of the room. It went, yeah, like that. And I lost it. I just went, what is it like? What is it like being you? What is it like waking up in the morning and going, oh, is there anything to eat, darling? I don't know. There might be some cold swan in the fridge. Because I have lots of hang-ups about not having any cash. Because, see, I'm a stand-up, and also I'm an actor. And people think acting is very glamorous, but it does swiftly descend into ennui. Because, like, I wake up and I'm wearing my dressing gown, but you can't really call it a dressing gown anymore because it doesn't really have any of the essential properties of a dressing gown. It doesn't, for example, bend as such. And there's lots of websites. If you're an actor, that sends you castings. And there's one called Spotlight. It's got two sections. There's a section for the actors and a section for the agents. And I'd love to have the code that gets me into the agent section. Just so I could wander about as a chimney sweep in the corridors of power. Because I know I'd get kicked out. It'd be like that bit in Jurassic Park. The face would come up on screen going, I'm terribly sorry, you appear to be nobody. And then just cuts to a live feed of Andrew Lloyd Webber in his palace made of rubies. I was a bit cold in here, Sir Andrew. Yes, why don't we put some more of other people's dreams on the fire? Anyway, look, I've got to go. I just want to tell you a quick story before I leave. I was walking down the road where I live in London, and I crossed this bloke. He was, let me say, he was a gentleman of the street, shall we say. He was the kind of guy you might meet on Leith Walk on a Saturday night trying to sell passers-by his shoes. And he was walking along, and he had this, which is like the cover of a brake light from a car or whatever. And he was walking towards me like this. Sidles up next to me and he goes, here, mate, get on that. I thought, all right. And I held it up to my eyes and I could immediately see what he was talking about because you see, like, it's a lens, you see, that sort of splits the light. And I thought, if, you're fucked on meths and walking against traffic, that's going to be amazing. And I thought, well done him. Well done him. There's a recession on. And here is a man making his own entertainment. I thought, brilliant. I went to give it back to him. He goes, it's all right, mate, you can keep it. I've got a spare. As he was walking away, I swear he goes, and they have the nerve to charge us for a TV license. Guys, you've been really lovely to me. I've been Angus Dunican. Cheers.